Hello and welcome to YHTV's Flowing into Awareness with visionary and master intuitive Anatara. I'm Christina Suzama, your host for this program. This is episode 27, Redefining Focus, Bursting into New Form. Hello, our dearest Anatara.
Well, hello, Christina. How are you today?
Good. I'm ready to burst.
Absolutely. Me too. Always. I feel like I am today. Here in the Pacific Northwest, we're having a beautiful, sunny, delightful day after a few days of gray and rain. So everyone is bursting.
Oh,
Everybody
yes.
is bubbling.
Oh, it's that smell when you walk out that door of all the evergreens, and how can you not burst? It's like, oh, I can still feel it.
The smell of the ocean is everywhere today. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous,
Very
gorgeous.
nice. Oh.
So I'm having a happy day, and I spent the whole day with the whole weekend with a tiny, a 10-month-old baby. So that makes you pretty bubbly too.
For some people, yes.
Definitely for this granny. Yeah, so you were saying you're ready to burst. What I wanted to talk about today was how we can redefine our focus, redefine the focus of how we live our lives, and burst into new form. And it's funny, even though the season right now outside is that things are shutting down, and the plants are not growing as much. They're going into their own hibernation. I've always felt that the human hibernation that we experience in winter or in the colder months or the darker months is a time where we can look at the things that will help us burst into new form. In the contemplative months, in the cooler months, in the months when we want to be inside ourselves, inside buildings more, meditating, feeling, even just becoming still. When we do those things, we stop living the more active and sort of usual focus that we often have during the rest of the year. And I guess what I'm describing feels sort of like a luxury, or may feel rather like a luxury to some, because it feels almost like a reward that at times we can have time to spend looking at ourselves and looking what we need. And so I was thinking about, do we have these switches inside our minds and maybe even inside our spirit, which if we change it, if we flip it, will give us another pattern, another kind of focus that we can lay over the way we usually do things. And that if we could flip that switch and start to live in another pattern with different rules, different paradigms, just a different concept, how could it be that might change some of the patterns that we normally live by? And I thought of even many things for myself, that if I just changed one tiny little thought, it would give me something to lay over the way I usually look at something. And I've been working a lot on this with my clients in the past few weeks. What is it that you've been doing, or what is it that you've been thinking that you could interpret or view or focus on in a completely different way, in a completely different format? Do you know things like that in your own life?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I learned a while ago to what I would call reevaluate, in the means of pulling back and looking at things at a different perspective, to sort of go, oh, okay, if I shift this, hopefully I'll have a chain reaction.
Exactly. And have you found that it happens sometimes?
Well, here we are on Yoga Hub.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
There you go.
It's because I do believe that we have so many, as we get older, we stop the play. We stop. I call Yoga Hub and what we do a big sandbox. And I keep referring to that with many of our guests, etc., because it's still very new, this whole online concept. But the sandbox of life, which is like the Japanese gardens
Hmm.
that are all sand, and they rake the sand and they continue to form a different pattern. And as you were speaking, when you were saying laying over a new pattern, that was the first image that came to my mind was, oh, it's like the Japanese gardens. Just, clear it up and re-rake it and let's see what you come up with today.
And oh gosh, what a perfect analogy and a perfect image, Christina, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. And it can be that easy. Those beautiful Zen gardens, whether they're large and life size outside or whether it's one of those nice little boxes that you can have on your table. I have found that if I am overly focused on something, if I go to my box and take my little rake and just let my hand flow into some sort of new pattern, that it really does wash away some of the other things that I've been focusing on. And so, as I asked in the beginning, where is that switch? What switches do we have inside us that if we just flip it, we just change it, we just re-rake the pattern, is going to give us a different perspective that will then give us a different focus through which to take our, do the rest of the day even.
Mm.
So how do we find that switch? And that's the part that's the most exciting to me. um, we all have something, and I'm going to talk about this in further episodes, but we all have something that makes our heart sing. We all have something that really makes us come alive, or something that when we're doing it gives us a break from the mental belief that we have to do things in any particular comfortable normal way. And what I mean is something as simple as I believe that I have to leave for work at 20 minutes after 8 every day, and if I don't, I start to get antsy. So what would it what would it be like if I changed that idea and thought, well, I could leave 10 minutes earlier, or I could leave 10 minutes later, and I'll just get there when I get there, and I'll still be on time and everything will be perfect. So that's a really, really simple example of the kind of thing I'm talking about. I'm not necessarily talking about the little ahas and the changes in focus that completely alter the way we live our lives. But I'm talking about something that's so easily accessible that even the mind can help us find it. So finding that switch. Take something in your life that you're feeling a little bit, as I said, antsy about, or a little bit uncomfortable with, or just frustrated with. There's just something that you don't like anymore. You don't want to do it that way, and you've been having this feeling for a while, and you're thinking, oh, I want to get this feeling off my shoulders. I want to shrug it off. I want to be different. And with that in mind, find a way to be quiet and centered. You could do it in meditation. You could do it as you sit in a chair or lie down and listen to music in the bathtub, and let some sort of train of thought happen around it, so that you start to not analyze as much as just let flow new and different awarenesses about what the theme really is, what the story really is for you. And as you find the story, take it to another step where you let all sorts of ideas and thoughts about whatever that is just come to you and flow through you. And if you're having trouble changing it from your own mind's perspective, imagine what your mother might say about that if you asked her, or or imagine what your partner might say, or imagine that if you're sitting in front of a group of 5-year-olds, how they would answer your question about what should I do about this problem. And find just some new, little small ways to view it differently. Because when you find those ways, there's a part of you that is eager to explore them, eager to take them on, eager to see if they work, because you're already in a bored or frustrated or and you sort of place of anxiety about whatever it was. So the switch is there. The switch is in the new perspective. The switch is in understanding that we don't always have to view things the way we usually do. And those new perspectives, those switches are inside us. We don't have to go to an expensive counselor, and we don't have to go to a workshop, and we don't have to go on a long, beautiful holiday, although we could, uh, to find out what some of those things might be. We can do it by ourselves. And when we find that new way to focus on something, as we lay it over whatever the pattern is that we have, it almost washes away some of the entanglements and tendrils that were there before of the way we usually do it. And what I want to say really about this is that freedom is there. Freedom is yours. The things that we tend to feel bogged down by, they don't have to stay there. We don't need them. If we don't want them, let's not have them anymore. It works. It's possible. Try it.
I love it. Yes, I agree with you 100%, Anatara. It's really up to us to make that switch. And it is so simple. It's just one at a time. But it's the awareness and the belief that we can make that. We can create the change. One little awareness at a time.
And that's that, that's it. That is the key. We can do it. We can make the change. One little awareness at a time sometimes opens up the whole world of changes, the whole world of new possibilities for us. And one little change can simply eliminate the whole package that was hiding behind it.
Oh, yes. And the package that we thought was there that was awful and we didn't want to open, it could eliminate that very quickly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you so much, Anatara. This was a really wonderful section that I think many people will really benefit from because it's simple and it doesn't cost anything. And it's really right there, more than just on our fingertips, but really right within ourselves.
It is. Enjoy.
Thank you, Anatara. And of course, thank you, Segovia Smith and our Yoga Hub team for making this moment possible. And of course, we'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us in this new platform of education and information. We're always grateful for your continuous support and look forward to hearing your feedback on how we can serve you better. We invite you to join us live on Tuesdays for Magical Medical Tour at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Wednesdays for Trinity of Life at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, followed every other week with Flowing into Awareness with Anatara. You can also connect with Anatara by following her on Twitter at Anatara, and of course at her own website, anatara.ca. Anatara.ca. Now, we just launched this. If you would like to subscribe to this weekly updates of this show, just visit us at yogahub.tv for more details. And of course, we always look forward to your comments and suggestions. Give us a call at 818-LETS-TALK. 818-LETS-TALK. Until next time, namaste. YHTV's Magical Medical Tour. Come join Dr. Glenn Woolman and Christina Suzama as they journey through the healthcare galaxy, interviewing doctors, healthcare practitioners in the attempt to share ways to achieve optimal health. Join us on yogahub.tv every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
Verse brings you what you need when it wants, and you kind of have to open yourself to it. And a lot of times, I just say it out loud and say, this is what I would like to do, but I don't know, And so a friend of mine introduced me to it, and I started going in the last 3 years. So I've been overseas in the context of medical trips to Honduras, Panama, and this last year I went to Ghana